President David Goslin is absent. And there is a quorum on record. Minutes of previous meeting. Resolved that the minutes of November 1st, 2016 Town Council meetings are hereby accepted.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
License applications. Resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters are being referred to proper departments and being disposed of or awaiting recommendation, the same is hereby approved.
I'll move the resolution for discussion.
Second.
Moved and seconded for discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Now, I'm going to make an amendment to approve all the licenses except for one, which is Growing Green Nursery. That has to be removed for reasons that,
We don't license. That's a state issue.
yes,
State issue. So it needs to be.
and it lied at town clerk. So we're going to remove
Some
that.
misinformation?
It was
Yes.
it was erroneously posted.
Right.
So just omit, move to omit, and then vote.
Yeah, I move to omit Growing Green. You need a second on that.
A motion, I need a second on that?
Second.
All right, motion has been made to remove Growing Green from this list. Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Brian?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. All right, so we just voted to remove it. Now it's...
Now I'll make a motion to move the rest of the licenses.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience on this? Hearing none? Roll call vote. Brian?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes,
And I vote yes. Okay.
Which ones were approved?
Oh, there's
they were all approved.
All right, they've all been approved, and I know David usually reads them.
Just reading if you want.
Yeah, good.
Just
Thank
let
you,
me know.
David.
It's a renewal for September business
Want to
license.
turn your mic on, Dave?
Yeah.
Whoops. Are you in?
Missed this.
All right. Renewal for September business license, Anna L. Gill Areola, DBA Areola 5-Star Cleaning Service, Kickin' Tracks Music, Centerville Bank, attention Brian McGinnis for a financial institution, Lee Allen Duckworth, DBA Capital Wealth Management Incorporated, Salon Karma, Imondi Eggs Incorporated, DBA Imondi Foods, West Bay Homes LLC, West Bay Appraisal, Capital Wealth Management, new business licenses, Denzel C. Easton Jr., Jack Lancelota, not that one, Matos Bakery, and then a whole bunch of victualling house licenses, 24-hour victualling house licenses, police constable renewals, dance live band renewals, theatrical performances, shows and exhibition renewals, and balloon and novelties for Russell Lafort. They have all been approved, minus the amended one.
Thank you, David.
consent agenda correspondence. Resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters being referred to the proper departments and being disposed or awaiting recommendation, the same is hereby approved.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, you have to read the correspondence.
Oh, yeah, the kid. You gotta read that,
You
Ed.
have to read that.
Yeah, we did? Okay.
Yeah. I wish they could show a picture of it.
I'll do it if you want it.
Oh, they do have, yeah, I wish they could show.
There's a,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
a handwritten card from the Lee family. At the top it says, "Thank you from Desmond." It has a great picture of some fireworks, and it says, "Thank you for the Community Appreciation Day. My family enjoyed it, especially the fireworks. My kids were very happy. Sincerely, the Lee family of Highview Drive." And it looks like one of the children had a drawing at the bottom also. It was a stick figure yelling out, "West Warwick is awesome." Love, Adrian Lee.
And now
Yeah.
Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, the Lee family, and yes, I too also enjoyed those fireworks. They were very, very good. And thank you for
He must
everybody
be really
involved.
happy. They got a new road to ride his bike on.
I know, he did a real nice job, because you see the ground fireworks that are coming from both sides on the drawing?
Yeah.
He showed that very, very well. I thought.
Did a
Next
great
time we
job.
should do it in color, though. Huh?
Only all of our correspondence was like that.
Yeah, right.
You can start racing.
Easy for us to
Yeah.
read. Okay.
Cancel,
All right.
Cancellation of
I
taxes.
didn't vote on that yet.
Oh, sorry.
We have to vote on that?
No.
All those in favor? Aye.
Of what?
Opposed? I don't know.
Accepting the correspondence.
The correspondence, so we're accepting it.
Cancellation of taxes. Resolved that the attached cancellations in the amount of $18,382.78 presented to the tax assessor for approval of the town council in accordance with Article 25, Section 5 of the West Warwick Code of Ordinances hereby approved. Original list on file in the office of the tax assessor.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion for the council from the audience? Hearing none. It's just a resolution. We'll take a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Rhode Island Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program sponsored by Council Vice President Giroux.
Sure, Ed.
Elaine, you want to come up a little bit? This is a supplement to the money that we've put aside for the Shippey Ave flooding mitigation project. Those residents off of Shippey down at Pond Street and East Street and all those streets in that area that have suffered terrible flooding over the years. And it's been many, many years since I've been here, years before I got here. And I know I always promised those people that when the town gets some money, I would do whatever I could to help them out. And I've been in their cellars when their cellars have been flooded time and time again. So this time around on our road bond money, I made sure that we changed the language and we put in there that we were able to use the road bond money not only for the surface, but also for what's underneath. And because of that, we got it passed, and I obligated $500,000 to this particular project. Long in coming, a lot of money, but even with that amount of money, it's not enough. We've gotten an engineering study that we had done at the beginning of the year. We had one done a few years back, probably about, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And at that time, it was $1.7 million. And now this time around, it's about 1.2. But we think we can get a lot of it done, especially if we can get some money for $174,000. 184,000 from Community Development Block Grant, CDBG money. And I'm very thankful that you're putting this in, Elaine. And with that total amount of money, we may be able to get some real effort put in. And another interesting issue is that it's a green project. The technique that we're using down there is, to simplify it, it's basically putting catch basins underneath the sidewalks. So it's capturing. We have used this technique before, and it's a little bit cheaper. That's why it's a little bit cheaper, and also it's very, very effective. And we're hoping this will not finish the project, but we're hoping it'll be very, very close to it. And hopefully, we've had conversation with Coventry because they're putting the water into the area too. That hasn't been too successful, my understanding at this point. They don't want to spend a penny. But in any case, we won't, hopefully the council will not stop trying, because it's so unfair and unfortunate to those people. We have a lot of flooding problems, but our infrastructure is very, very poor. We really haven't attended to it. We haven't had the money to attend to it, and maybe someday we will put some restricted money aside every year so that we can attend to our infrastructure. So, Elaine, would you explain more detail about the community development block grant?
Yeah, this is 2010 flood money that was left over at the state level. So they actually contacted Fred to see if we had any eligible projects. The project has to be directly related to the 2010 floods, which this area
Certainly
is.
yeah.
We applied for the maximum that's left, which is $184,000. The grant will be delivered on Thursday, and we can hope for the best that it will be awarded to us. We have not received our annual funding award for 2016. We have applied for some infrastructure in the Arctic area, which is not committed to a specific street. So if that money is awarded, we could also use it for this project because it was applied for under the blanket of infrastructure. So we'll have to just wait and see. That application went in June, and we don't have an award letter as of yet.
Very good. Okay.
So we'll just hope
Yep.
for the best.
Cross our fingers.
That's right.
All right, good.
Don't
We've
forget
done that
Natick.
before, and we've won before.
Don't forget Ward 1. Can't be pushing it all that way.
Ward 1 is very limited with infrastructure money,
And that's the
Just
hardest
because of
hit when
the-
it floods. The
just
hardest
because of
hit.
the demographics.
Yeah, wait, only every 100 years. This one's
A
every...
100 years
This
baloney.
one's
It's
every
every
4
2
weeks.
weeks.
We'll tell,
This one's every 4 weeks,
well,
Angelo.
maybe our good government, well, instead of being in Westerly or Musquamaket and raising them 30 houses, how about the houses down here? I mean, what are we?
I agree.
I mean, that's baloney.
Yeah, but this
That's
is...
how
a-
good
And another thing is,
our
I mean,
representatives are.
we can always go after, if this grant's available, because what I find, and I think this is true, Fred, that when you put your money where your mouth is, then they're more apt to give you some money also, because they know that you're contributing to a project, so it's important to the town. You're not just asking 100% funding here. You're saying, I need some more money on top of what we're already
Makes a huge
contributing.
difference.
It's a big difference. And so I hope we're successful because of that. That'd be great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right. So, any discussion from the audience on this matter? No? Any more further discussion from the council? Hearing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Contributions for nonprofit organizations. Resolved that the town council hereby makes the following contributions to the following nonprofit organizations for disbursement of funds. Veterans Council and the Food Cupboard.
I'll move the resolution for discussion.
Moved and seconded. Discussion from the council?
Yeah, what do
You
we
want to
have?
start, you want to start off with what we gave them last year?
Yeah, let's, we only have two here?
At
They're
this
only-
time, yeah.
Two.
Yeah, usually you have about 8 to 10.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have,
Some.
excuse me?
We've given some already.
You've already given some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only two was the veterans and the food cupboard that I see here that are asking now. So last year, let's start with that, Ed.
All right, so,
What did
yeah,
we give?
I'm looking over here.
The 5,500?
I think it references one, but it doesn't reference both.
I think-
John, you would know, would you?
I don't know. I have to look back.
Yeah, we'd have to go back. We really need to know.
Well, why
need
can't
a-
we find out?
Usually Dave knows the answer to these, he looks them up.
In the letter from the food cupboard,
Well,
it
thanks
said
a lot.
we gave him 6,500.
No, I think it was 5,500. I know we gave the veterans, Bob's here, I think we gave you guys 1,500.
Correct.
It was a lot less than what you usually do.
Right, because we had to split it with 6 or 7 other ones, and we gave less.
Move to give the same.
Why don't we move to give the same as we did last year? We can always adjust it. if it
Yeah, I don't have a
comes
problem with the same
down
as
to it. How about
last
if
year.
we,
That's fine.
all right, so
We have to
someone
look it
make
up.
that, someone make that motion.
I'll make a motion that we give the food cupboard and our veterans the same amount as we contributed to them last year.
Right, and we can always revisit it if it turns out that we can afford more than we gave last year. If we had to, lower it last year for some reason, I don't recall that, but, all right, so that motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion from the audience? The council? Yes, sir. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Bob Shirersman, 229 East Greenwich Avenue. As president of the West Warwick Veterans Council, I want to thank the town council for their continued support of our veterans. We have 2,200 veterans living in the city of West Warwick, and so your help is good. Your stipends is used to put on the Veterans Day and the Memorial Day observance. This also allows us to be stewards of your park across the street. We have 8 monuments, 1 flagpole, 2 cannons, World War I cannons. They're always needing repairs. We thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Bob. Thank
I
you.
own one of
Thank
them
you for your
wheels.
service.
I know you.
Just kidding, Bob.
Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Town Council acting as a liquor commission. Alcohol beverage license renewal. Resolved that the attached alcoholic beverage license renewal have been advertised in accordance with the law for the hearing on this date. No remonstrants or objectors present, the same is hereby approved, subject to all inspections being completed, health department approval, all taxes being paid, and letter of good standing being received.
I'll move the resolution.
Moved and seconded.
Now, what is this?
This is the
It's
renewal of
renewals.
licenses.
Just
All,
alcoholic.
Alcohol, Class A, Class B,
All the
Class B
bars.
victual.
all the bars, all the ones that, all right, the ones that were just advertised?
Want to get a drink with the exception of liquor stores.
Okay.
All right, okay, so any discussion from the audience on the passing of these liquor licenses? No? Any questions? Okay, very good. Counsel? No questions, sir? Hearing no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Korea Vises Tara Foods West Valley Ann, KC 2016-0917, license transaction subject pending receivership. Resolved that the attached alcohol beverage license renewal, having been advertised in accordance with the law for the hearing on this date, no remonstrant or objectors present, the same is hereby approved.
I'll move the resolution for discussion.
Second.
Moved and seconded for discussion.
If I may, this regards the West Valley Inn. Richard Land has been the court-appointed receiver. He reached out to both Fred and myself requesting that for the limited purposes of trying to sell it through the receivership, that the liquor license be actually notified and named as an asset, which traditionally it's not in a receivership. And because of the way they're attempting to sell it right now as a banquet hall, that would go along with it. So we've basically given them approval on a 30, 60, and 90-day basis in which to utilize the license as an asset.
No, is that an asset that someone owns, a regular bar
Well,
owner with a
It's
full-class license? That's not something somebody
No.
owns, so how can we do it?
Because you're doing it for it's a very short term. If they can't sell it as a banquet facility with the license, what their thought process is, if they can't market it with a liquor license, no one's going to look at it.
I understand that fully, but would it be for, if Burt Mollahan's Bar and Brew
Right.
came here and said, I'm gonna sell the place, I'm
There's
in
a dis-
receivership, can we do
Well,
this for us? Will
there's
you
a-
do this for me?
There's a
What is
distinction.
my answer?
There's a distinction with the receivership. The receiver basically has to ask the relief through the court to call this particular item an asset. In order to sell the property, to get the highest value, and knowing what the West Valley Inn has been historically to the town of West Warwick, the receiver has asked the town, in order to market it, to use this asset to use the liquor license as an asset. In the event they cannot sell it as, or market it as a banquet hall, restaurant, et cetera, and they go a different direction, obviously the liquor license will lapse and return to the town. They only want to really keep the liquor license alive in order to market it with it. If you guys reject that outright, the judge can't make them, or can't make the town do it. But it's just a
No, I
question.
realize that, but I understand that, and it's more important to me, because that's my ward.
Right.
I want to see it go as a banquet hall instead of buildings or whatever.
Well,
But
under
I
the
just
receivership,
also,
they can't-
I
they
still
can't market-
also want to make sure that we're doing this for one. If someone comes up to us again, we have the right to do that with them also, too, right?
Well, you've done that in the past on a
Okay,
on a
that's all.
transfer from A to B, so if Bert did have Bert's Bar and Grill and was going to transfer it to your mom,
Brew, get it right.
oh, Brew, sorry, was going to transfer it to your mom, that part of the transfer would be the license. There's no actual dollar value to the license like you would normally
Well,
have
that's what I'm just trying to
in the asset column of
bring
the
out here,
receivership.
right.
But under the receivership, in order to market it as a banquet
All
facility
right,
restaurant.
just wanted to get my 2 cents in on
Right,
that.
but again, I want the council to be sure, this is a very short term, it's not for the rest of their natural life as a business while it's in receivership or not, so my suggestion would be is the council would grant the relief and just do it in 90-day intervals. Right? In 90-day intervals,
And then
because,
anyone that might buy it would have
Right.
to come back to the council.
and normally reports are given to the court by the receiver on a timely basis, so if there ever was an issue, for example, a buyer came to the receiver's attention and they were interested, everything would be wrapped up. In the event that the 90 days lapsed, the matter would come back before the town council seeking additional time. So you guys basically have control over it, but you're really just allowing the receiver
Yeah, it's a token.
to sell.
It's just,
Now, is the license in force right now? Is it paid for?
I believe that the license was paid in full, and
But
those-
now, it's not careers anymore. So now
Well,
is the
it
town
is-
losing
it
any
is-
money, not
no,
getting any
no.
money for the
the
licensing?
best way I can explain this is, the license still has to be paid for. The receiver is basically stepping into the shoes of the careers. They're basically managing it, and they're using it as an asset in order to try to sell it. like I said, in the event 90 days comes and goes and the receiver tells the court that they cannot market this as a restaurant or a banquet facility, and say want to go to residential property, commercial property, or something else, that liquor license issue just goes off the board and it becomes moot.
No, but what I'm saying is, land gets paid to be the receiver.
Yes.
So the town of West Warwick should get paid for holding that license. Why
Well,
should we be doing?
I agree with you, but there's no legal mechanism to allow us to do
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Why should we not suffer, but extend that license at no cost to them when everyone else has to pay for that
Well,
license
there is a
and not go
cost.
by?
They pay the same fee that the careers paid. They're just not using it. That's the
No, but in other words, did we get that money from land, from the
We will.
receiver?
We will.
Yeah.
They're not gonna give you the money until you approve this.
Oh, so we get paid.
Right, there's a
Oh,
liquor.
all right, I got no problem with getting
The liquor license, it's gonna be paid for. It's just not gonna be used in the normal sense. It's gonna be used to market the property. But there's not gonna be any, there's not a waiver,
No,
there's not a waiver
I understand
of
all that, but
cost.
I'm just dotting the i's and crossing the t's, that's all, because then they're gonna say, oh, we didn't think about this, and you know what, it's a
Believe me,
$1,500
Believe me,
break.
Mr. Land was given the offer of $25,000 by the solicitor, and he said no to it. But there's really no way to exercise a town's right to hold that license hostage, because if we go back before the court, they're just gonna say you've gotta pay the normal, whatever the fee is, or whatever the cost is for the license, which they will.
Oh, I understand that.
So, my suggestion would be is to keep them on a short leash, is to give them 90-day intervals, and then the council can review it every 90 days.
I'll move to okay it for 90 days.
All right, do we have to modify this?
No.
Okay, all right. Any discussion for the audience? No? No further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Ayes have it.
Town council acting as town council appointments. Resolved that the town council hereby appoints the following individual as the West Warwick building official.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So as the council's aware, we had a rather abrupt exit of a previous building official. We posted the position immediately, and we're very fortunate to have highly qualified individuals apply for this position. We've, after reviewing all the information and doing the interviews, we did offer the position to George Demont, who is with us tonight. George came on board a couple weeks now, George?
Just began the third week.
He's on his third
Hurry
week.
up, lock the doors, don't let them out.
And I have to say, it's been a real breath of fresh air in there. He's got a great demeanor, great personality to deal with that office. As you all know, it's not the easiest job in the town hall. You get a lot of people in there. Most of them are complaining about something, and I think George handles it extremely well. He comes to us with a wealth of experience. He comes highly recommended by his peers. We called several of his references, and they all gave glowing reports. He comes by way of East Greenwich most recently as their building inspector. And prior to that, he also served as building official for Central Falls. So he's probably seen pretty much everything that he might encounter here. But we're happy to have him, and I'm pleased to recommend him for appointment by this council.
And just to go by what Fred said, I made a few phone calls too, not knowing who he was, and got nothing but all good praises about George and how he works well with the council, how he works well with the citizens of the town, businesses, so, and it wasn't from one or two, it was quite a few.
Excellent. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Welcome aboard, George.
Welcome aboard, George.
Thanks for your vote of approval, I really appreciate it. I want to thank Fred, first of all, and the council for your approval and everything that goes with the position. It's great. It's a good package for me. I'm happy with it. I'm looking forward to doing a good job for you.
Fit right in, George.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, reports, town manager report.
Don't have much today. I just do want to say that for those members of the council, this is your last meeting. I just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to serve with you. It's been, I know some of that's not decided yet. We're still working on one, but this will be the last meeting for those of you that won't be moving forward, and it really has been a pleasure. I think that people need to know that the decisions that this council's made in the last 4 years has, to me, shown an amount of what I call political courage that I have never seen, working for municipalities and government agencies for many years now. The steps you've made with the 5-year plan, with approving bonds to go before the voters for the wind turbines, the union negotiations, all of these are very difficult and potentially, politically endangering decisions, but you made them, and you made them in a way that it was clear you're doing what was best for this community, and I think you've done a great service to this town, and again, for my part, it's been a real pleasure to serve with all of you.
Thanks, Fred.
And if I can just add to what Fred just said, I think one of the best decisions we made was hiring Fred a few years ago. Wish it would have happened 6 months sooner, but we couldn't quite put that together. And I think that when West Warwick looks back 25 years from now, if you could talk to your future selves, you'd realize that Fred was the impetus behind this town not going bankrupt and getting back onto a path of prosperity.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, finance update. John?
Good evening. I just wanted to mention something that I received a couple weeks back. The Internal Revenue Service actually sent a request for examination of our 2007 road bond. It's not an audit. They just requested some documents. They want to just make sure that everything's in compliance with the tax laws. One of the things that we did actually find, or we think may have prompted the examination, was the way that something was categorized in terms of the type of funding or the project that was being conducted. There's different categories. I'm going to hand out a document that you'll see all this on. But long story short, rather than indicating that they were for transportation or road bonds, someone indicated it was an other category and then put in road improvements. And we seem to think that that may have prompted them to say, you know what, let's take a look at this. No, it's a simple thing. So I've worked with Karen Grandy from Loch Lord. I've worked with Adam Cray from First Southwest. We provided all of the documents as required by the request, and I'm actually going to give you a copy of the information that was sent to them as well as the information request that came from the IRS. We don't expect there's going to be anything is going to come from this, but I wanted to be sure that the council did actually have a copy and was aware of the examination request as well as the responses that were prepared. And once you take a look at this, if you have any questions tonight or any point in time, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, John. Okay, upcoming appointments. Thank you. You want to read those, Paula? I'll read them, either way.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do I read you?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to say a few words in a minute.
Juvenile Hearing Board, one with the term to expire December of 2018, one with the term to expire on December of 16. Recreation Committee member, one for Ward 3. Planning Board, one for 5-year term. Zoning Board of Review, one for a 5-year term. Technology Committee, Ward 1 with a term to expire December 5th of 16, one for Ward 2 with a term to expire December 31st of 16, one for Ward 3 with a term to expire December of 16, and one for Ward 5 with a term to expire December of 2018.
Okay. Public comment. Is there any comment on the meeting tonight?
Yes, I have just two things.
I was going to get to the council on that.
Oh, council first, right?
I was going to do it that way, but that's okay.
Whatever. I'll wait.
Yeah, they don't have anything to say.
I'm not going anywhere. First of all, I just want to congratulate two council-elect right here, Jason Licciardi and John D'Amico, two new councilmen for Ward 4 and 5. And I wanted Dave Lombari here today, but I'm going to direct it to you. The Mirror on Clyde Street, it's not going away. They were supposed to have an answer. Again, The lady next door, the elderly woman, almost got hit again. I almost got hit again. The mirror's gonna go up there.
Major Knott was going to be scheduling the time to meet with you, so you can go out there with us.
I want it done
Yeah, we're gonna, next
earlier
week.
than later.
Yeah, we're meeting next week.
This
He's
has been
gonna be
going
calling
on
you.
for 6
Yep,
months,
I
and
just
the
got
one
email
up on
today.
Fairview Avenue
Yep.
went up in 1 week.
Yep, understood.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Angelo. Brian?
I just wanted to thank the residents of West Warwick for allowing me to serve these last 4 years. It's been a privilege to sit up here and hopefully lead our town in a better direction. I hope that if you remember what it was like here in town 5 years back, the chaos that we had going on, I hope you feel that 4 years later we're in a better position, that our town is fiscally better off than it was back then, that we have a better relationship with our school committee, that we were able to bond money for roads and get our bond rating up. Taxes are naturally an issue, but when you have a $225 million deficit, it's not easy to keep the line on taxes and just say no every year. But I hope residents feel they got their money's worth out of me, and thank you very much.
Again, just to start off, I just want to thank everyone that's called me since last Tuesday. The phone's been ringing off the hook, everyone just offering, their thanks for the past 4 years. And, I've had some time to reflect. Obviously, it's easier to reflect when you're older. It's tougher to do when you're younger. But it seems like just 4 years ago, I was just a 25-year-old kid sitting in the back of the West Warwick High School auditorium during that meeting that we all remember. And I had my hoodie on, and I was a member of the band in high school, and I played hockey, and I just went to go. I could care less about politics. You knocked on my door, I wasn't answering. I was hiding under the covers. But I went to the meeting, and I sat there, and my friend looked over at me, and obviously the meeting, everyone remembers the events. He looked over at me and said, "Dave, why don't you run for town council?" And I laughed at him, and I said, "Are you nuts? Why would I want to do something like that? Like, literally, we just got out of college. And just starting our jobs and our lives and just bought a house and all that stuff." And then we had a campfire a week later, and then we went to another party a week later, and he kept saying it, and he kept saying it, and he kept saying it. And I said to him eventually, I said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going to run for town council." And I got to walk around Ward 4 and meet people. Everyone thought it was my dad that was running, and then I'm introduced, no, I'm Dave's son. And they're like, "Well, I thought his father was named Dave." And I'm like, yeah, I'm like Dave the third, technically. Dave Kennett. And I met wonderful, wonderful people along the way, and it's just been an incredible process. I went to school to be a teacher, and somehow along the way I ended up getting involved in all this, and I learned so much about municipal government, from OPEBs to ARCs to MOUs to ARCs to all the acronyms in the world. As if I don't have a job that has enough acronyms in it, I decided to do this, which has even more. But it's been an absolute blast. I love learning, and the past 4 years have been 4 years of learning a lot, from John, from Fred, from Tim. I got administration, legal, and finance. It's been an absolute blast. But on to the next adventure. If you ever need anything, to the council, to Fred, to anyone, you know where to find me. I'm not going anywhere. As Senator Satchel says, I'll give him credit for it. Born, bred, and dead West Warwick. I am. So I'm here to stay, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the new friends I made, and I just really enjoyed making the town a more pleasant place to live and a more pleasant place to hopefully someday raise a family, but we'll see. Thank you.
Okay. I find myself in a very awkward position here. Congratulations, Jay, for a great campaign. And I guess a few days before the election, Kendra had given me a call. And she's practically a one-woman show over there at the newspaper, and she knew she was going to be very, very busy that night, so she asked me if I could give her a quote, one if I lost and one if I won. All right. So I'm going to give you my speech as though I lost tonight, all right? And I won't take too much time. We don't know what's going to happen. Monday, hopefully, we'll find out. But if I don't take this opportunity right now, I don't see where I'll ever have the opportunity to say the things that I want to say. Let me see if I can do this without tearing up. It was 13 years ago, July 29th, 2003, and I can just roll that off the top of my tongue because I was in the hospital at the time having open heart surgery that day. I was the first person in the history of Rhode Island that ever won an election that they knew of. You know, Channel 6 came down, did a news story and all that they knew of that had ever won an election while under the knife. And I don't know if it was the sympathy vote, but it just doesn't seem like it played out this time. But in any case, since then, for the 13 years, Benny McGarrett had passed away, and he had called me, as a matter of fact, a few months before, and asked me, he was the first one that said hello to me in town when I was on Earl Street, stopped, said hello, who he was, and welcomed me to the neighborhood. And he had asked me if I would be interested in taking his spot. You know, he knew me pretty well. I had also was the director of administration for the town for 2 years. Back in the early 90s, very early 90s. So anyway, it's been a great ride, up and down, you know, a lot of not so good times, really good times. Always had good people to work with, a lot of people that I can call my friends. It was fantastic working with the constituency. I want to say that I feel that I'm leaving the town, if I leave the town, I'm leaving the town, I think, in a much, much better shape than it has been since I've been here. And I'm certainly not going to take credit for it. I had something to do with it, obviously. But there's a lot of people that we have to give credit for, and the first ones are the employees of this town. What they did, what they did and what they gave up, you know, so that this town could survive was amazing. And I thank them for that. You know, I want to thank the directors. We have fantastic directors that spent a lot of time, underpaid, a lot of time working here for the town. And I certainly want to thank this guy right over here for his progressiveness, bringing turbines to the town, making the town the greenest town in the state. Some fantastic things that we all worked on, but again, as both of you have said, the manager is the key. But of course, you know, we certainly want to thank ourselves too, and I want to thank you guys. I really do. I'm sorry David's not here tonight. The things that we've all gone through, good and bad, the arguments, the yelling and the screaming. No. But one thing that I always insisted on was that no matter how heated it got, that we would always end up shaking hands. And that's what I expect to do, either tonight or next week. Or maybe not, but I'll save that speech for then. I want to thank you all for your friendship, and on behalf of the taxpayers and citizens, your dedication to this job. This is where I always tear up when I want to thank my wife. Excuse me. Thank you, Jerry. I'll see you in a little while. And thank you to my beautiful daughter and handsome son, and my great 4 grandkids. And my life has been exceptional. Great family, great job, great friends, great constituency. You know, I tried my best. And again, Fred, thank you for making us all look good. probably could have gone a little bit further, so I don't know how you did with me, but in any case, thank you for that. It's been wonderful. I'm not bitter at all. I've always said this for the last 7 times I've been elected, that the people have to choose. They have to make a decision. We have to get the information out there. We do what we can. And you always run the risk of not being elected, and for some reason, there's something else that the people want, and that's fine. And I'm truly fine with it, and I thank God that I've had the experience. So, thank you.
Ed, and if I could, although Council President Goslin is not here, he did send me some remarks he did want me to read to you all. It says, Town Council members, first I want to apologize that I could not be here this evening. I'm in lovely Virginia working. To Dave and Brian, I want to thank you for your dedication over the past 4 years. I also want to thank you for having faith in me as Town Council President. You both have worked well with the town and your constituents. And most importantly, we got to know each other and became friends over the past 4 years, and that was the best part of serving with you guys, and I hope our friendship continues. Ed, I know your election's still up in the air with the ballots and the recounts, but first of all, thank you for all that you taught me over the past 10 years. We've not always agreed with each other, but at the end of the night, we could always got to have our choice of beverage and have some good laughs. I know where your heart is, and that is with the community. And know the time and the dedication that you have put in over the past 13 years. All 3 of you have been very instrumental in getting the town back on track and in the right direction. And I hope to see you continue serving the town in another capacity. We would not be where we are today without your knowledge, rational thinking, and dedication to the town of West Warwick. You all have my number. Please don't forget it. Good luck in your future endeavors. Thanks, Dave Goslin.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Sorry. This
Public comment.
public comment. Okay, let's have Bert come up here.
Mr. Town Sergeant.
If it's the last thing you do, guys, get a wireless mic so that Bert doesn't have to come up to the microphone. All right.
Bert Mollahan, Monterey Drive, West Warwick. I've been coming to these meetings from the time I sold my business in '92 for 25 years. And this council is one of the finest that I've known of in the last 25 years. And when you guys selected our town manager, I thought to myself, holy Christ, this guy doesn't have all the bells and whistles. He doesn't have a PhD in this. He can't do this. And he turned out to be pretty damn good.
Best.
No doubt about that. He is the best. Yeah, it was good. And then I watched 3 of my dear friends on the council. I was going to run for council many years ago in Ward 5, and then 3 of my dear friends died while they were serving in the council. That was Carl, Benny, and Al Manning. And I thought, holy Christ, if that can do that to those guys, I want to live long. So I decided not to run. And I helped this town out in other capacities where the stress wasn't so bad. And I know you guys are fully dedicated and you put in a lot of time, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Bert. Thanks so much. Any further comment? Hearing none?
Hit it.
Just the very best wishes to the new council members. I hope you'll always have West Warwick's best at heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Thank you, West Warwick.
We have to